Hi guys, welcome to this evening's strategy session. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is you're tuning in from. I'm traveling this week, so I have a very different backdrop, and I'm coming to you live from New Zealand, where it's very, very chilly and about 2 degrees, which is not what I'm used to coming from Australia. So thank you to each and every one of you for joining us. I'll give everyone a couple more minutes to jump on. Do drop us a comment and let us know where you're tuning in from. Joining me today, I have Lyndon Beanoff. Welcome, Lyndon.
Hey Rachel, great to be here.
And Craig Schultz. Welcome, Craig.
Hey Rach, well, great to be here.
Okay, we'll be hearing from those two guys a little bit later, but we have a bit of an announcement this morning. So I'm actually this afternoon or this evening, wherever it is. It's morning now for me. So hence why I keep saying morning, but we have a bit of an announcement for you today, and we're really excited about it. So when we obviously started strategizing out, what we wanted to how we wanted Shopley to look, what we wanted Shopley to be, and what we wanted to be able to offer to get the business to grow. One of the biggest things that when we sat down and spoke to a lot of our leaders and we had internal discussions, we've obviously now been through the reactivation, but the next big step is to really start moving into that momentum phase. And the last couple of weeks I've touched on some stats in relation to the growth, which are really, really encouraging. And we're really continuing to move in that positive direction. But one of the two different groups that we've really wanted to target and focus during all of this is obviously our existing people on our database, and then obviously our new people that have never heard of Shopley before, never been involved, don't know anything about Shopley. So I know a lot of people have been out there having those discussions with the new people, inviting them to snapshots, talking to merchants, doing all of that. One of the big things we've been working on in the background is what we can also do to assist you guys and to help our merchants in reactivating a lot of those people who, may have heard about Shopley 6 months ago and have just been sitting back and waiting and seeing what we've been doing. So the big announcement we have today, and it is already in everybody's back office, is we have sent a $10 marketplace credit to every, sorry, I've got a little one in my background at the moment. Thank you for the lolly, darling. Um, the joys of kids, people, I apologize for that. But we have just put in our existing database, so anybody that has registered with Shopley before and has a account or an email registered, they have a $10 marketplace credit. So this was specifically designed to be able to reinvigorate our database. As I said, we've talked to our leaders, we've had a listen to what they want, what they think would help them build their business. And this was a big one. So immediately you can go onto the platform, you can shop any of our merchants, and at checkout, your $10 marketplace credit will be there for you to use. There's no codes. There's nothing difficult about this. It is simply go to the merchant you want to buy something from, add it to cart. Once you go to checkout, that $10 will appear. So we're really, really excited about this. We know that a lot of our leadership team out there are incredibly excited about this too. So we'll be communicating everything now that we've announced it on this call. But we're really looking forward to what this can do for your business and for everyone out there with really supporting the merchants. I know that was a big one that a lot of people wanted to do. The merchants that are on our platform have been with us from the beginning. They're pioneer merchants. They've grown with us. They've been through everything. So, this is something that will obviously be able to support them, but also reinvigorate your business and make it a lot easier for each and every one of you to go out there and have these discussions with some of these people you may not have had these discussions with as yet. So, very, very excited about that one. As I said, we will really we'll email that out right now. And any questions you have, the support team have been briefed. They know everything. So any questions, reach out to us or reach out to support, and we can step you through it from there. So we're really excited. We hope you guys love it as much as we do. But tonight I also wanted to touch a little bit on the phase we are in right now, because the phase we're in business right now is, it's a very real phase. We're in that phase at the moment where, momentum isn't yet obvious. It's started, it's kicking off, but it's not yet loud and it's not yet boisterous. So, this is the stage where the work is happening, the conversations are opening, people are watching, people are deciding, but it may not feel loud yet. And that's okay, because before anything is visible at scale, there is always a group of people that are quietly setting the tone. This is also a stage, and this is really important to note, that this is where some people just naturally wait. They wait to see what others are doing. They're waiting to see who else is going to jump in, who else is going to move. They're waiting for proof, and they're waiting for someone else to go first. So, the important thing to remember there, that is human behavior, and that is really normal, especially after everything, that has gone on in the community. But what is really, really important, and what I really want to stress here, this is also a stage where leaders are created, because leaders don't wait for the room to be full. They don't wait for the room to be loud, and they don't wait before they actually start moving. So they don't need every single person going, yay, let's do this, let's jump in and take action. They see the direction. They're very clear on the opportunity that Shoply provides, and they're out there starting to create that proof that others are waiting for. So tonight, when I use the word leadership, I'm not necessarily talking about title. I'm not talking about rank or your position or who's got the biggest organization. I'm talking about behavior, because leadership is how you show up. Leadership is about being willing to have those conversations. It's about being willing to ask those questions, or share that post, or, invite someone to a snapshot, or bring someone into the community. It's about being able to follow up when the first answer isn't always a yes or isn't always immediate. Sometimes leadership is just staying steady, being consistent when things are not yet loud. And that's, very, very important, because that's what this moment calls for right now. There's no pressure, there's no hype. What we need right now is just steady leadership from exactly where you are. So in a stage like this, there is always two groups of people in any movement. So the one group are waiting for the proof, and then there are the people who create the proof. Sorry, getting tongue-tied there. And the really important thing to know is, I know a lot of people out there have been getting frustrated with a lot of people that they're talking to, because they're like, yes, yes, I really want to have a look at it, but I'm busy and I'm here and I'm there. And, let's book a time in 3 weeks. It doesn't have to be, right now, because both of those kind of groups matter. The people that are waiting and the people that are jumping in, both of them matter. I'm not criticizing people who wait, because many of them want to see the movement forming, but the people who create the early proof are the ones that are going to shape the culture here, and the ones that are already starting to shape the culture here. They're the ones that create the first stories that we've been talking about, the first examples, the first social proof, the first wave of leadership, and the first conversations that will really turn into something, and that is what we need right now. We don't need everybody to be doing everything, but we do need people to understand that proof doesn't appear by accident. It is going to be created by consistent single action before the crowd gets here. And that is really, really important. One of the things that I keep reinforcing is, we are now building one ecosystem. Whether you came from Shoply, or whether you came from Lev, or whether you're brand new, the opportunity now sits in the combination of what we have. Some people will connect with the social commerce side of things. Some people will connect with just the product side of things. Some people want to just bring on merchants, or some people want to just build their business with Lev, and some people really want to be part of that culture and that community. And that's where our strength lies. There isn't one doorway into this. The person who doesn't understand social commerce may love AI. The person who, wants to build a community may not know any merchants. It gives people different ways to connect. And that is what is so powerful about the Shoply opportunity. So the question is not, can I jump in there and do everything? Because that's where people tend to get overwhelmed and lose a little bit of focus. The better question to ask is, where can I now lead from? You know, some of you will naturally lead with the merchants, some of you will naturally just want to work with brands and products, and some of you will want to, you know, bring people in and start sharing the opportunity. Some may connect more with just sharing links and being an influencer. You don't need to be able to do everything, you know, and I think that's the real overwhelming thing for a lot of people. You can just pick your lane. And you can play around. You don't need to identify your lane from the beginning. You can identify and play around with what your focus really wants to be, what you're good at. And then, you know, start leading from there. That is what's really, really important. So I wanted to bring Craig in first if I can. I'll see if he's still with us. So Craig, I know you've been working really closely with the field. So I guess I wanted you to just speak a little bit about, you know, what are some simple leadership behaviors that everyone can focus on now without essentially overcomplicating where we're at?
Look, firstly, I sort of go back to the credit, $10 credit thing and apply that to, my I guess my leadership tip of the day. So basically, with the credits really to stimulate the marketplace. So one of the things that we've done as a part of this launch, not launch, whatever you want to call it. I call it a global launch because it's now we're opened up to the world with two licenses, $1, etc. So we've got one side of the fence we've built, which is the merchant ability to come on board for $1 and the rest of the year free. The other side of the fence, we've kicked the door open for the masses to be able to come onto the platform and use, the ability of a $1 license as opposed to $200 to be able to activate lots of people coming onto the platform. But the main role of the marketplace is to actually create activity on the platform. So the $10 credit is a way for you to be able to not only receive the gift and a benefit of a discount on a product yourself, but also gives you the ability to go back to all the people that you've brought along with you on the journey to have another look at the platform and invite them in with their $10 code. And the reason I share that is if you look at the e-commerce world, every single Shopify store that is out there, they often have a first order bonus, and it will be a $10 off or a 10% off or whatever it is. And they're trying to stimulate their first order with a customer to then to have a relationship with their customer for the long term. So I want to use this as a strategy over the next short period of time where we can give the leaders a chance to go back to their entire community and and to be able to invite them to come back onto the platform, activate, use their $10, and everything works in sequence, in effect, because we need more merchants on the platform, and that gives more variety for the users. Then we need more users on the platform to keep the merchants happy in terms of transactions. And the $10 opportunity actually gives us the ability to stimulate what the real behavior of the platform is, and that's consumers promoting brands, or our partners promoting brands, our partners buying products themselves. And that's what I would probably say. Use this opportunity to re-engage with the communities that you've done in the past. And I would just say, if I was on here and Rachel was somebody that joined me in Shoply in the initial phase, I would go back to Rachel and say, "Hey, Rachel, just want to give you a quick update on what we've done here. We've had a really exciting 12-month period where we went live with our integration with Shopify. So done that deal with a $200 billion tech company. Then we went and tested the platform. We got 100 odd brands onto the platform, thousands and thousands of products. Now we've compacted our license model into two simple offerings. We've gone live with that in the last 3 weeks. Now we're inviting the masses onto the platform with a $1 opportunity. And now we're stimulating the marketplace by giving the ability for all of the people that have been on the platform in the past to come back and use their first order bonus to start shopping on the platform. So this gives us the ability to create a behavior and really stimulate the marketplace. But I would personally say use this as the door to open up the conversation. But you really need to get good at showcasing the story of the last period of time as well.
Absolutely. Thank you, Craig. And I see Lyndon's kind of dropping on and off a little, so we'll see if we can get him. But Lyndon, you've seen a lot of, businesses, a lot of cycles, and a lot of momentum cycles over the years. So tell us a little bit about what separates the people who watch momentum from the people who help create it.
Hey, Rachel. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm just in my car at the moment. I just lost connection, but it's good to be back on here safely. So, I mean, obviously, you've got to be a little bit of a risk taker, but it's taking smart risks. I think for me, being part of the network marketing industry for the best part of 40 years, the last 5 years, we've seen a massive seismic shift in the way that the industry operates. It's changed. It's changed forever. And the way that we've done things in the past, or the way that we think about creating a business in the past, is not going to be the way that is going to create success in the future. We're never going back. And I think one of the hard things for leaders, especially network marketing leaders, is you want to work with familiarity. You want to be able to use your skills that you developed over 5, 10, 15, 20 years that you may have participated in the industry and apply them. But I suppose the thing which is really difficult is that you have to also embrace being able to adapt and change, because the industry has certainly adapted and changed. Do things a little bit differently. Sure, there are a lot of people who may have struggled or may have felt that they started building too early, that they have approached most of the leaders and contacts that they have on their list. But maybe, what if your list is not actually your list? I mean, when you think about what we're trying to achieve here in Shoply, is that we want to create a business that is attractive to the masses, not just to people that have had experience, in the direct selling industry in the past, but people that have had experience in e-commerce, people who've had experience in online shopping. That's pretty much everyone these days. And so this is one of the things that I want to really encourage people is, don't get caught up in the past. Don't get caught up in that time warp, that you're actually looking at getting started by working with the same usual people that you've always worked with. Your list. We all know that our list is really important. But think about it like this. What if your list is not your list? That can be scary, but it also can be absolutely invigorating, knowing that the past, you were looking for a small select group of people that would activate and grow the business opportunity that you have. But here, what if it's even more so the people that may have never embraced your business opportunity in the past, that will absolutely embrace this business opportunity of the future. And I think that, for Shoply to be very, very successful, it's going to be the masses that embrace this business. And there are going to be people that have never joined a pure network marketing business that look at this as being modern, at being the future, and being something that they can actively build. So, please keep that in mind. More than half of the pay plan that we have at Shoply, the first 5 of the 8 ways to earn, are ways that people can earn an income that don't require any form of network marketing or team building whatsoever. So it is a pay plan that in a way is built to be attractive to the masses, not just the networkers. So just think about your list is not your list, and look at embracing the masses. Sometimes it might be the people you think that may have no interest in being involved, or maybe someone that's never had any success with you in the past that can be an absolute superstar here. So if you can be that innovator, if you can step out of familiarity and move into a new way of doing business, you could be one of the Shoply leaders of the future.
Absolutely love that, Lyndon. And that's a really important point, is stepping out of that familiarity, because when we talk about leaders, as I touched on before, it doesn't mean your rank or how long your contact list is or how many people you've spoken to. It is literally about those people out there that are taking consistent action each and every day. So that is really, really important. Thank you so much for that, guys. Now tonight I want to just leave you with 3 questions to have a think about. You don't have to answer them now, but I just want you to have a think about them over the next couple of days through to the next week. Number 1 is, where am I best positioned to lead? This is where I feel a lot of people are getting overwhelmed because they're trying to do too many things, and they're trying to do too many things quickly. And whilst that's not necessarily bad, question number 1 is, where am I best positioned to lead? Is it merchants? Is it products? Is it the Lev AI? Is it a community, or is it storytelling? Have a think about where you wanna lead from. Now, the second question is, who needs to hear from me, not from the company? Now, I know there's a lot of people who are just out there having discussions and, inviting people into the snapshots, and they're saying, oh, they're listening to the snapshots, loving the idea. But what a lot of people need is, there's people who will respond to one of these calls, hearing from corporate do a snapshot, but they will respond to you because, again, it's your voice that matters to them. So just be very mindful of that as well. And the third is, what is one small piece of proof that I can help create this week? Again, doesn't have to be a huge result, doesn't have to be a dramatic story. We've touched on all of this over the last couple of weeks, but one small piece of proof, like a conversation opened, or maybe, you don't like going on social media and doing anything, so you go out there and share a product. You may send a merchant one of the showcase videos, or you may invite somebody to a snapshot because you feel that's the next natural progression. But that is how we are gonna continue with that momentum. As we said, we are seeing positive growth week on week, which really tells us that things are really picking up. We're really happy, and momentum is really going to start to get loud when we all start taking those consistent actions. So, again, I guess just to recap and close off tonight, I'm not asking everyone to get out there and be loud. I'm not asking everyone to suddenly go out there and become something they're not. I'm asking you to be intentional, because the important thing here is, before the crowds arrive, it's each and every one of you on this call that are here every week consistently that are going to set the tone. And that is the opportunity that is in front of us all now. All of us here and each and every one of you. For the last few months, we've really worked on rebuilding the structure, restoring communication, doing all of that we've touched on. But now we are in the phase where the culture is shaped by the people who choose to lead from where they are. And that is you guys. You are here.
Yep.
I see these names. You are here every week. You are the ones that consistently ask questions. You are the ones that are consistently out there inviting to the snapshots. You are having the conversations. You know, you are the group that have the courage to get out there and lead when you may not be perfect. You may not be the loudest person in the room, but you are incredibly excited by where you are, and you understand that what we have at our fingertips is a huge opportunity, and you are out there having these conversations consistently. So this week is just a reminder. Don't wait for the room to be full. Lead from your lane, create one small piece of proof. Have the conversations that only you can have. You know, these people know you, they trust you. These conversations are best to be had by you. So the next layer of growth for each and every one of you is not going to come from more information. It will come from the people that are deciding to lead from where they are right now, and that is each and every one of you on the call. So before the crowds arrive, leaders set the tone. That is where we are now. We couldn't be more excited to be working with each and every one of you. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks, guys.